Welcome back to Matt Talks Football. In the playoffs for the qualification of round of 16 in the Champions League are gonna start. There are gonna be some quite exciting matches. So let's go ahead and make our prediction. The first game, it is Brest versus PSG. It's an all French affair to start off the qualification. Brest and PSG, they played each other about a couple of weeks ago, where PSG were really good. They defeated Brest quite comfortably. It ended 5-2 in the end. So you can expect that PSG are gonna go in this game with a lot of confidence. Recently their form has been really good, and PSG had to fight, literally fight tooth and nail to get into the next round of to come into this round as well. The last two games, they were hugely important for them, and they won those games, and their form coming into this game is really good. Brest, on the other hand, they've been playing really good football, but I don't think it's going to be an easy night for them. The first leg for this one, I'm going for a quite comfortable 3-0 win for the away side. Moving on, it is Sporting versus Dortmund. It's the first leg. It is going to be played at Portugal. Dortmund have been suffering really bad. They had to sack their manager Nuri Sahin. And Niko Kovac has won it was his first game over the weekend. They lost that game as well. So the problems at Dortmund are quite huge, if I'm being very honest with you. And they're going to travel away to a Sporting side who are really good at home. I think it's going to be a very tough night. I mean, whenever it's a European game at home, Sporting always perform really good. And I think they know that Dortmund are in a lot of trouble at the moment, and the pressure is on Dortmund. Let's be very honest. Even though Sporting are the home side, Dortmund are the favorites to win the tie. So Sporting can give a good performance here at in the first leg, and they can put pressure on Dortmund, and they can have an extra advantage going to the second leg. And I think they are going to be able to do that. I think Dortmund's defense is really bad, and I think Sporting are going to take advantage of that. I am expecting a really entertaining game of football in this one. I think there are going to be goals, but unfortunately, I think Dortmund are going to be the ones who are going to concede most of them. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Sporting. Up next is Juventus versus PSV, and now both these teams, again, it was a very tough call for both of them to qualify for this round as well. And the form of Juventus has not been that good. PSV, they are doing really good in Eredivisie as well. And Juventus recently, they have the weekend they won their game, and it was like the first time in over 4 months that they won 2 consecutive league games. So you can say there's a bit of form for Juventus, but I still think it's going to be a very tough game. Juventus have been really underperforming under Mota this season. They are trying to turn things around, but this has happened before as well. They win a couple of, they win a one game, they draw, and then they start dropping points. And I'm not really convinced with Juventus. PSV are a side who like to play attacking football, and I think it is going to really suit them playing against Juventus. Even though they are the away side, I think PSV are going to benefit playing Juventus, because Juventus like to keep on a lot of possession, and I think that is going to play into PSV's hand, and I think they are going to take advantage of that. They're going to let Juventus have the possession, and I think they are going to hit them on the counter attack. But I don't think we are going to see a winner in this first leg. I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Juventus and PSV. Then it's the big one. It is Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Manchester City, they have been all over the place. They're recently trying to get back to winning ways. They won over the weekend in the FA Cup against Tottenham. It ended up being quite a tough game for them that they wouldn't really have expected. They had to bring in the big guns, Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. All of them had to come off the bench, and they ended up scoring the winner and pushing City over the line and into the next round. They had a really tough game. Real Madrid, on the other hand, they had to play that Madrid derby, and they were really upset with what happened. They are still mad with the referee situation. They deserve to win that game, in my opinion, but they ended up in a draw, and that has opened that has opened the title race quite wide for the top 4 in La Liga. So they are coming to this game quite angry. They are the away side at the Etihad. I think it could turn out to be a bloodbath for Manchester City. Their form has been horrendous this season, so I would not be surprised if Real Madrid go ahead and they basically destroy Manchester City, if I'm being very honest with you. But I'm gonna stay modest here. I don't think City are gonna win. I think Madrid are gonna win the first leg and the second leg. But for tonight, I'm going for a 2-1 win for Real Madrid. Then moving on to the Wednesday game, we start with Club Brugge versus Atalanta. Brugge really had to work hard. Like, they were one of those teams who kept on the last day. They kept on going out and kept on coming in. It looked at one point like they were not going to qualify for this round, but they somehow made it. They are playing against an Atalanta side who have been really good this season. They are fighting it out for the Serie A, and their victory over the weekend has really, again, it has brought the league even more closer than it was before the weekend. Their performance in the the Champions League have been were really good as well. So I am, in my opinion, I think Atalanta are going to go through over 2 legs. But for tonight, it's an away game. Club Brugge, this is their best option at the moment to put a great game against Atalanta and make the second tie quite interesting. I don't think there's going to be winner tonight. I think sorry, on the Wednesday night in the first leg, I think it's going to be a draw, and I'm going for a 1-1 draw between Club Brugge and Atalanta. Up next, it is Celtic versus Bayern Munich. Now, Celtic, they are always a tough side playing in the European condition. You have, whenever it's a home game for Celtic, you can really expect something to happen. And if I'm being very honest with you, if this game was a couple of months ago, I would have said there's a big chance that Celtic win this game because Bayern were not playing that that much of good football. But over the last month or so, since coming back from the Christmas break, and even before the Christmas break, from early December, the way that Bayern have turned things around and the way that it has starting to work under they started to work under Vincent Company. I think it is going to be quite a fun night. I think we can expect goals in this one, and I would really not be surprised if we end up seeing a draw here as well. And that is why I'm going with this prediction. I thought I would tilt the favor towards Bayern, but no, I'm going to stay with a draw, and I'm expecting an entertaining draw as well. I'm going for a 2-2 draw between Celtic and Bayern Munich. Up next, it's Monaco versus Benfica. It is one of the hardest ties to predict, if I'm being very honest with you, because Monaco have been quite hot and cold. They can either play really good football and they can surprise you, or they could be horrendous on the night and they can, absolutely destroy themselves. They are playing against a Benfica side who have been really good. I've been quite impressed with them. They are doing great in the league as well, and I will not be surprised. I could think, I could see them eliminating Monaco, if I'm being very honest with you, and I think it is going to start with the home leg. I don't think Monaco are going to win this game as well. I think Benfica are going to give them a shock. I'm going to go for a very shocking 2-1 win for Benfica. And we finish off the playoffs first leg with a Feyenoord versus Milan. Again, this is another 3-1 to qualify. I'm being very honest with you, because Milan have been on and off this season. They can either be very good for a couple of games and then they go ahead and do disasters. Their Champions League run have been quite a lot better as compared to their league form, but they are playing against a Feyenoord side who who really had to fight tooth and nail to get into this phase. So they are not going to let go of it easily, and they are going to look at this Milan tie and they are going to see Milan's performance, and they know they can put this Milan side under pressure, especially they are playing the first leg at home. That could be really crucial for both of them, if I'm being quite honest. Feyenoord can look at this tie being at home. They can say we can have a really good match in the first leg and win with a good amount, good lead, and they can play the second leg quite comfortably. And Milan could look at this game and they could say that we have to just survive the first leg. Even if we lose, we don't have to lose that badly, and then we can take them back to our home. So I think it'll be a very fun game to watch, and I think there are going to be goals in this game, but I'm gonna go with a Feyenoord win here. I'm going for a 3-1 win for Feyenoord. And with that, my predictions for the first leg of playoffs for the round of 16 in the Champions League are completed. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? They are quite an interesting, are really good games, if I'm being very honest with you. Especially there's a blockbuster game between Manchester City and Real Madrid, but I think the games between Milan and Feyenoord and Monaco and Benfica, and I think those games are going to be quite interesting. Bruges versus Atalanta, I think that's another one that's going to be give us a lot of goals as well. So we'll see what happens in all of those games. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of February, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.